Hello, my little
Hello?
ponies, and welcome back to some more Rune Factory 5. There's something weird going on with OBS settings, and it was quite laggy. I don't know why, but it seems to be all better now. I fixed up the setting, and now things are good.
Hooray. Hooray.
Yeah, I'm awesome like that, I know.
All right!
So now... Right, the next dungeon. Where was the next dungeon? Next dungeon... 12 lava caves, but apparently that was too difficult for us or something. I don't know. Whatevs, we'll probably be fine. We should probably grind a bit, but I mean, grind against fire enemies seems like the plan, right? So, anyway, today, Azora helped me with a bit of character making and stuff, although there is still a little bit more left to be done, apparently.
Oh gosh.
And even though there is an
Nice.
immunity to falling damage that you can take, according to one of the GMs of the server...
All right!
Oh, you don't have to take that. You can, instead of spending 5 points on that, you can spend 3 points on having the slow fall ability.
All
The
right!
difference there is that with slow fall, you have to, you know, basically be able to catch yourself while you're falling. It's like having a parachute. But you have to be, like, awake and able to do things.
Grow big and strong.
With immunity to
okay?
falling damage, if you just get, like, absolutely thrown out of a plane while, say, sleeping, immunity to falling damage would keep you safe.
Time to eat.
Alright.
Time.
So yeah, they said, oh no, just take this thing instead, and that's all that you'll apparently need. So it's like, okay, sure, whatever.
So now you've got more points to work with instead?
Yeah, put more points into, like, skills.
Ah.
But also, the character needs complications. Things that can keep the hero from being able to do their hero goals.
Grow big
You know,
and
for
strong,
example,
well-
like, Spider-Man has, like, Aunt May at home who might be expecting, like, wanting to call him and stuff, and it's like, oh no, Aunt May, you fell down the stairs, I have to rush back home and help you. But let this villain get away.
Well, I think the more pertinent one with Spider-Man is just the fact that like the whole secret identity thing. He is very, like, practically religiously careful about trying to protect his identity, his secret identity most of the time, and both ways.
No, apparently that's
Hope it
just
comes out
normal
okay.
for heroes in this setting to have the secret identity
right.
that they are trying to
No,
protect.
well, it's not just that, but just the way that he goes about it, where it's just like,
Big and strong,
again, if he
okay?
goes and, like, you know, more often than not, situations come up while he is already out in public, and usually with people that he knows. Admittedly, they just look at, like, most of, like, the Spider-Man movies, particularly, like, the, you know, like, what was it, like, the first
Yes.
three?
Time.
And the one that comes to mind for me is, like, the one in the bank.
Hope
It's
it
just
comes
like,
out
the
okay.
bank's
That's the
being
one-
attacked.
That's the one that came to mind to me as well.
Grow
Out of
big
all
and
the
strong,
people who
okay?
gets taken, it's Aunt May.
But it's not just that, because the bank is being attacked. The only way for him to actually be able to come in as Spider-Man is to for his, you know,
Hope
for
it
Peter
comes out
Parker
okay.
to seemingly run away like a
Grow
coward.
big and strong, okay?
Yeah, doesn't Superman also have that issue whenever something, like, bad happens? Clark Kent runs away.
Grow big and strong.
Whenever
okay?
something happens at one of, like, the Wayne Manor parties, Bruce Wayne runs away,
hope it
so
comes out
Batman can
okay.
come in.
Well, yes.
I hope it comes out okay.
Honestly, like, Bruce Wayne being as he is,
hope
like,
it
that
comes out okay.
identity just being basically almost entirely false, it's not really an issue for Batman. Because
Your identity.
the canon makes it very clear. He sees himself as Batman.
Watering time.
Bruce Wayne is the mask.
Watering time.
Even though you would think it'd be the other way around, but like his
I
mentality
mean,
is
that's
Bruce
the
Wayne
point.
is
That's the point of the joke. That you think
Yeah.
it'd be the other way around? That the human would be like the real one.
Yeah.
By the way,
Whereas-
anyone in the audience, I'm gonna just mention this real quick. If you see the
big and
game,
strong,
if you see
okay?
the video liking a bit, and you're wondering, and you're like thinking, oh, your OBS settings are so
right.
messed up. No, the game has just been lagging slightly here and there.
Oh.
That's just the game itself. That's not specifically the video.
I've actually not been noticing any lag, so of
It,
course
like,
it also might be
hangs.
that
Hope it comes out
that
okay.
Discord also regularly
it
lags, and
comes
so
out
I'm just
okay.
not noticing the difference.
Watering time.
But see, the one that kind of stands out more to me, like for your character, have
No,
you said what your
I'm-
character is in the
I
video
said
yet?
what- Oh, right. So anyway, my superhero character,
Big
I
and strong,
first joined up
okay?
the Millions and Mastermind
Watering
server,
time,
and I wanted to make, like,
watering
a dragon. Or maybe, like, someone who could turn into a dragon, like Maleficent or whatever.
Oh, right.
But then I thought, no, it'd be funny? Skateboard. And I laughed, and then decided to try to go for it. And then I just went for it,
Big
and
and
yeah,
strong,
skateboard.
okay?
Yeah, she's a sentient skateboard with powers. So my
Technically,
immediate,
it's a robot skateboard.
my immediate thought, I mean, you are a skateboard. You are skateboard sized. You know what probably is
comes out
the your biggest weakness? Someone just
Watering time.
grabbing you.
Yes.
No, I mean, might be a weakness. Oh, like, but that's not like that's not like a conflict. Like a conflict would be like, oh, you have family back home, like, you know, like, say a superhero who's like, civilian persona has kids, so they might get a call from like their kids' school that they have to come and pick up their kids, and so they have to stop what they're doing, stop trying. A
Watering
conflict
time.
is something that could
Watering time. Watering
is-
time.
generally unique to your character,
Watering time.
not specifically, generally.
Okay,
That
basically
can
what it
stop
sounds
them
like
from-
is you need to more develop your civilian life side to figure out what you could possibly have.
I mean, for example, for some conflicts, I have like, oh, the character doesn't
You're
have,
big and
like,
strong,
arms
okay?
and legs, doesn't have, limbs. Which,
Yes.
leads to some issues. The character is, I don't know how to put it, like, very prone to challenges. How the...
I mean, see, the thing is, with you say the
Very
arms and legs
competitive.
things, like I would consider that more a weakness than a,
Watering time.
than like the sort of conflict, like say having family
Watering
would.
time. I hope it comes out okay.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing where it's just like you're in a very unique situation in which you've, well, so far,
So,
at
like,
least
say,
as
for
far
example,
as
a
I know.
conflict for this character might be the fact that maybe, like, they are a model or whatever. A model skateboard. The very model of a modern major skateboard. And so they have, like, photo shoots that they have to get
I
to,
hope it comes out okay.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
all right, there you go. You have commitments.
for example.
Although in that case, I would definitely say you should probably bump up like your ranks in
hope it
modeling
comes
if you
out
want
okay.
that to
I
be
did.
such.
I did bump up the expertise skills a bit.
Well, specifically the modeling one
I
should
hope
be
it comes
maybe
out okay.
maybe not necessarily the highest, but
Yes.
definitely should be higher than others. Especially if you want to
I'm
make
just-
that like a conflict source.
I'm just picturing just like a Perry the Platypus
Watering
sort of
time.
thing of just, popular like modeling like backdrops,
Watering
whatever,
time.
and then just a skateboard.
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, that's one of those ones where it's just like with Perry, like very much the whole thing, like with the secret identity like of his family thing.
Watering time.
Yeah.
Like that
That's a
that
conflict.
seems like the sort of thing with there, but now you're saying that that's just a standard thing, and doesn't qualify.
No. Okay. the secret identity thing of, oh, I don't want people in general to know my secret identity is a general thing. But, like, specific... It's like, yeah, because, you know, oh, villain knows about my secret identity, they could target my loved ones. That's just, like a whatever thing. Conflict arises when the character themselves are torn between, hey, do I stop this bad guy? Or do I settle this, like, inner conflict I have? Like, say, Perry the Platypus fighting Doofenshmirtz, and then his, like, Perry's family comes by, and Perry has to stop fighting Doofenshmirtz and let him get away, so his family specifically doesn't find out. If it's some random people on the street that find out that, oh, he's, you know, Perry the Platypus secret agent and also just a platypus, that's fine as long as it doesn't get back to the family.
Yes, and the thing is, like, going back to the whole Spider-Man thing, though, do you realize how many of his villains have seen him unmasked and know who he is? The only people he actually really seems to care about hiding his, you know, the fact that he's Spider-Man from are his loved ones.
Oh, like
I mean,
Danny
he
Phantom.
tries to prevent, you know, like, in general, but it's not nearly as big of a deal breaker for him as, say, Aunt May or Mary Jane finding out, except in the timelines where he actually reveals it.
Yeah.
Watering time.
So it's like...
Yeah, like Danny Phantom. Every single one of his villains knows who he is and knows where he lives, and some of them even know his family and friends. But his family does not know. At least not for a while.
Hope it comes out okay.
Yeah, certainly not for a while.
I
Makes
think
it all
like
the more
his parents
interesting
only
that-
find out like in the last episode, or the second last.
His sister finds out partway through the series, though.
I think like season 1 or early season 2, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
You're big and strong, okay?
Yeah, but
You're big and strong.
and that's
okay?
that's sort of just the, you know, interesting thing, and I don't know.
Yeah, like the skateboard doesn't have like
But-
family or loved ones to care about. Like the only
hope
one
it
they can
comes out
consider
okay.
family would be the one who made them,
You're big and
who's
strong,
now dead.
okay? Watering time.
I didn't have anyone on the character sheet to write a backstory, but basically the backstory is that there was like a professional skateboarder who created a skateboard to take part in like, you know, the biggest global skateboarding
I hope
event.
it comes out okay.
Did some competitions and specifically had put in an ability, like special abilities
big
on
and
the
strong,
skateboard,
okay?
like the, you know, immunity to fall damage to like acid drop and be safe, without taking into consideration that, yeah, the skateboard will be safe, that doesn't mean the person on the skateboard will
You're
be
big
safe.
and strong, okay?
They did a trick, landed it,
Watering
the
time.
G-forces hit them so hard that they died. Mid-competition.
Please tell me that you weren't trying to make it canon that you're the one who created your skateboard with like Tony Hawk or someone.
No.
You're big and strong, okay?
Because that'd be kind of funny that... Actually, you know what? That might be more of like a conflict thing there. It's just like,
okay?
if the skateboard is like built like with branding in their design, like identifying...
Stop trying to make
them-
Doritos
You're
happen!
big and strong, okay?
No, I'm not saying sponsorship
comes
branding.
out
I'm
okay.
saying like... Basically, if the designed to be
Tony Hawk
very
skateboard.
recognizable. Meaning they kind of have to go out of their way to like not appear to be actively involved whenever they're actually like
Hope it comes out
superheroing.
okay.
So I guess that's probably again more of a weakness thing because it's more of a just more difficult
Hope
to
it comes out
maintain
okay.
the
Yeah.
secret identity side.
But
I don't
like
know.
the thing is, I don't think that this character would have a secret identity because like it's not like they can, you know, take off their
hope it
outfit
comes
and
out
be
okay.
just a normal human person.
I hope it comes out
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
They stop adventuring, they're still a skateboard. So like their like, you know, civilian side, quote unquote, would be, you know, going to skating events, still competing, hosting a radio show,
I hope it comes out okay.
and going on to other
Watering
radio
time.
shows.
Watering time. You're big and strong, okay?
And yeah. hosting radio shows, you know, taking part in skating events.
I hope it comes out
I like to
okay.
imagine that the skateboard goes to, like, you know, like junior skating events sometimes, you know, with like kids
I hope it comes
skateboarding
out
and
okay.
whatever, and just like is the announcer, whatever, you know, hyping it up, getting, you know, the next generation hyped up for skateboarding. So it goes to events they're not
I
even
hope it comes
competing
out
in,
okay.
just to keep
Grow
up the
big and
hype.
strong, okay? Grow big and strong, okay?
Has photo shoots, like, hey, this might be the first skateboarderless skateboard to win, you know, the whatever.
I mean,
I don't know.
Grow big and strong, okay?
I mean that. Again, it basically sounds like you're describing Bruce Wayne.
Well, except, okay, imagine like Bruce Wayne, but no Bruce Wayne. Goes to the public, it's not Wayne Manor, it's Batman Manor. It's not, you know, Wayne, like, what is it, the company? Wayne Company? It's Batman Company. Everybody knows that it's Batman. There is no Bruce Wayne, period. It's like that.
Okay, Claire, I'm giving you suggestions because I'm trying to help
Yes.
you here, because it basically sounds like you've basically talked yourself into having no conflicts,
Grow big and grow big
which
and
seems to
strong,
be
okay?
against what
I
you
hope
need
it
to
comes
put
out
in.
okay. I hope it comes out okay.
And that, yeah.
But, like, no, that's,
Like, I'm
like,
trying to-
the issue. With the characters I had thought of them, and so far designed them, most of the normal conflicts don't apply.
Grow big and strong.
There's one you
okay?
said earlier that I really liked, and I forgot to write it down. What was the one that I said that I liked?
Watering time.
Like, so far, the only one you've got is, like, scheduling conflicts. But the thing
Grow
is,
big
like,
and
if you
strong,
are,
okay?
you know,
Yes.
a publicly known superhero, basically, like,
Grow big and
without the
strong,
secret
okay?
identity part,
Watering time. Watering time. All right.
like, the thing is, like, the scheduling conflict thing generally doesn't tend to be an issue for, like, the publicly known superheroes. It is kind of
Yeah, it's like-
expected.
Grow big and
That
strong,
they
oh,
would
hey, you
okay?
didn't make it to our
prioritize-
meeting.
Hope it
Yeah,
comes out
sorry,
okay.
Mothra was attacking. Oh yeah, I saw that on the news. So
Yeah, exactly.
I take it
Comes
you
out
won.
okay.
So yeah.
And that's
Also-
why, like, the secret identity aspect of it is kind of
Time.
necessary for that to be a conflict. That's why what I'm suggesting is, yeah, they might be a
I
publicly
hope it
known
comes out
figure,
okay.
but what if they are actively trying to not be recognized as
Oh, right.
being, like, as superheroing?
Oh, so they put on like a fedora.
I hope it
No,
comes out
no,
okay.
like, obviously nothing like that,
hope
but
it
I mean,
comes out
like,
okay.
what I'd suggested before, you know, something that they could use to blend in is to, like, always be, like, in superhero situations, always acting as if they're being, like, ridden by somebody else. Of course, if they're also so distinct that doesn't really work, I mean, obviously that doesn't work, but, like, what I'm trying to get at is just some way that they can... And unfortunately, it looked like you didn't have any ranks in, like, stealth or anything, so that might actually be difficult to pull off anyways.
I mean, you
Stealth
don't have to
with
like
deception.
pretend to be ridden by someone else if you are a skateboard and can just be
You're big
ridden
and
by
strong,
someone
okay?
else.
Grow
I
big
mean,
and
in
strong, okay?
superhero context.
Yes, in superhero context. I don't know.
Alright.
If one member of the randomly assigned party can't fly, just be like, alright, sure, hop on, and fly them around.
Yeah.
Instead of find someone else who can fly and, you know, fly yourself just underneath their feet so it looks like that.
Yeah,
They're on
either
fire.
way works. What I'm saying
Grow
is,
big and
like,
strong, okay?
making it so that you're actively trying to make it appear, even when you're actively
Nice.
superheroing, that you are not the one doing any of the superheroing, that you are there just as, say, I don't know, like a
An accessory.
crutch or vehicle, yeah, for
Watering
someone
time.
else. the issue, what I'm saying is the issue is if that is like the extent that you're going to try to maintain the not actually superheroing thing, you'd kind of also need to be able to like not be so recognizable as like the sentient skateboard
I hope it comes out okay.
for you know you to be able to just appear to be just some sort of I don't know, flying board.
Yeah. If this
But if
was
you are-
a case of like a set, like single DM and like set party and all that, I could work something out with like another party member, and so we could work together as a tag team. And it's just like, oh, we go superheroing. I don't know, like use some like temporary like blue spray paint or something, so you know looks totally different, and I just look like their thing. But with a West Watches type game, where I won't necessarily know who I'm with until I'm with them,
I hope it comes
it's
out
very
okay.
likely that I won't always be paired up with someone I'd be able to mess
I-
with. So while your idea
I hope it comes
would be
out
great
okay.
if it could
I
be
have a
Comes
used-
out
thought.
okay.
I wonder if you can put like a point into some sort of decoy ability, an inflatable rider that you pull out
Comes
only
out
when you're
okay.
trying to hide who you are.
Watering time.
So
Grow big and
speaking
strong,
of having like
okay?
a decoy
Watering
rider,
time.
there are a few powers
right.
that one can get to do such a thing. You could have minion or summon, and I
Grow big and strong.
minion,
okay?
summon, or sidekick, and just like spend some points on basically
it
having,
comes out okay.
you know, like a sidekick, and have them
Oh,
using the
right.
skateboard. I don't know, like give them like a gun or something.
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards like, you know, decoy fake rider thing, so that you're not potentially putting someone else at risk for the sake of hiding your own identity.
It's just a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Honestly, you could make that work.
So, what are
Grow big and strong, okay?
so shelving that whole thing for a bit? What are some other potential conflicts that we could think of that don't involve having a secret identity? Or, yeah, this would be better to like ask the people who play the game. For example, like I'd put that the character's very competitive, so I could imagine that, you know, come across like the villain and just be all like, oh, no, I got this. I want to, you know, be the one to take them down. I want to go and do this or whatever.
So basically being very, you know, hot-headed and kind of arrogant. And that's more of a
Yeah.
personality trait thing, yeah. And
See, it's really weird to do this, because, like, having played tabletop games, you know, with people for so many years, I don't want to set something up in my character to make them a worse party member. I don't want to
exactly.
make something that's like, oh yes, and if this shows up, I'm just gonna let the enemy go, like, get away. Nah, it's what my character would do. Like, I don't want to do that. It's like, oh, but like every time that like you know, your conflict makes you lose to a villain, you get like 1 hero point. It's like, yeah, I'd rather just stop the villain, thank you. Like,
Well,
I
and this is
understand
why
the-
I mean, this is why I think it's one thing that you need to work on is sort of the... I mean, honestly, what is your character's alignment? What is your character's actual moral code?
So, there's a question in there of like, why does your character like fight villains? If they're going to be a hero, why are they a hero? Do they do it just because it's good? Do they do it because like they get paid for it? Do they do it because, oh, there's like one specific villain that I've sworn against, I'm going to keep fighting villains till I'm strong enough to beat them? Like, so I put that my
And then-
character has 2 reasons for fighting villains.
Mhm.
One is that the villains are always like trashing the city, and the city, I mean, is the place to go skating, and if the city is trash, then it's harder to go skating, so it, you know, stops villains to protect the city, quite literally. And the second is from the sheer thrill of fighting villains. flying around, kick flipping off their face, that sort of thing. You know, a thrill seeker like Yang.
So
Yes.
basically, it's almost the same motivations as Saitama.
I don't know. If you
Nice.
say so.
All right.
Yeah, as in One Punch Man, I mean, he says he's superheroing for fun and profit. But it started off just because, hey, he can do something good in the world, you know, and kind of more or less,
Nice.
you know,
Yes.
protecting his own stomping grounds. The best way to get on his bad side is to attack the supermarket that he shops at.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Speaking of being a public nuisance, my D&D character haunted a
Nice,
village
nice.
today.
Nice.
Right. So, like,
Yes.
we're in a village, everyone's basically hypnotized because, like, a group of people came in and were all like, oh, we're in charge. And everyone's
Oh,
like,
right.
yes, you're in charge. And my character very much did not like that, and so decided, you know what, screw it. The lead person in charge, I want to challenge them to a fight. And they are very, like, honor-bound and
Fill up.
challenging people
All
left and
right.
right, but whenever they challenge someone, they, you know, bring them to the, bring them into their own arena that's magic-proof. No magic can be
Does it?
used in the arena or brought into it.
There we
Anything
go.
that is magical basically stops
There
being
we
magical
go.
when it's brought in.
There
My
we go.
character's an intelligent sword, and essentially cannot enter without threat of death. And so instead,
Alright.
she was basically threatening, like, calling the guy a coward for
Alright.
sitting in, you know, in his ivory tower at like the public bar. And everybody's just
Hope it
like,
comes out
go
okay."
home, you're drunk. So instead, she spent all night, basically writing messages in blood all around the town.
Why
Calling
did you
the-
leave that one thing unwatered?
Pardon?
You left exactly one spot that was planted unwatered.
Well, there was no crop in there.
Oh. It was just tilled, no cropped?
Yeah, there wasn't a crop in that, so there's no point in watering it.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. Anyways, continue.
Gosh, can't wait.
All right.
Well, what's with...
Nice. Nice.
I'm sorry, it's like
What?
all of my RAM getting diverted into Minecraft. 100% CPU use. What is eating so much of it? Why is my CPU at 100% use?
Is it because of the Minecraft?
I can't tell. Task Manager is crashing.
Oh lord.
No, Minecraft's using like 13%. Discord's using like 10%. CurseForge is using another 8.65%. I don't see why it should be at 98% CPU use. It shouldn't even be at 50% according to these numbers. You know what? Screw it. Close the Minecraft. It's gonna be so incredibly bad that moving my mouse... No, don't close that one. Close this one. If it's so insanely bad that moving my mouse is like clop, 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 clop. If my mouse can only move at 5 FPS, that's a problem. Oh, for some reason the Minecraft isn't responding. Could it possibly be because I tried to close it? Could the reason for that be intentional? Okay, I for some reason can't get anything up to level 10. So you know what? Screw it. Just screw it. Put something in the oven. It was corn. Right, talking about stuff. Minecraft's been going well. I got into Draconium. I did all of the outer space stuff.
Yes, you went to space. It's funny how in the asteroids it was just filled like with random machines not really connected in any functional way. But like all the stuff that might have been useful, you know, before that point, because that's the last point of the space stuff. You don't even get to go to Pluto.
Okay, see, here's the thing. So, before you can go into space in the first place, why is Discord using over 60% of my GPU? You know, when I'm done with this video, I'm going to reset my computer and hope that that fixes so many issues.
Yeah,
here.
that's probably a good idea.
Alright, so first, so yeah, you have to launch some satellites out. And then you can use like a satellite controller to research like the celestial bodies that you can go to. So first you can like study the moon. So you have to like study it to learn like where it is so you can launch a spaceship there. And then, you know, study Mars and you can study Venus. But then you can also just study like the rest of the planets.
All right.
So I think I had it like studying like Neptune when I last left it off.
All right.
But there's no actual like purpose to it anymore, or?
Well, I said I had it studying because I closed Minecraft.
Yeah, no, but I mean like, so because like you've reached like the end of, well, at least
yeah.
The thing is, I think the baseline Galacticraft mod, I think it probably only does go as far as, like, you know, Mars, Venus, and Moon, Mars, Venus, and I guess the asteroid belt. And I'm pretty sure, like, from what I've done Galacticraft in the past, like, you need, like, one of the other, like, Galacticraft, like, expansion mods as well, like, to get access to more stuff beyond that. And frankly, the fact that this one had, like, asteroid belts, that surprised me. I didn't really think that was in, like, the baseline mod. But I guess it probably is. Or at least it is now. It wasn't last time I had looked at it.
All right.
Just interesting that you can research the other planets and whatnot. Just can't go there.
Who knows? Maybe in like one of the future chapters, it would be like, oh hey, you know, here's like a tier 4 spaceship. Now you can go to the other planets. You have been studying them, right?
You know, it really is just kind of. If you really just take a step back and just look at what the premise of this whole mod pack is supposed to be, it actually kind of starts to make less and less sense the farther that you go.
You're an angel who has fallen to Earth and you're trying to figure out the meaning of life that is locked in a bag that you've been given.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, you start off by traveling to other dimensions, and like keep finding more and more new dimensions, and then eventually you stop going to other dimensions and just go to literally other planets. I'm like, maybe it's just me, but it feels like other dimensions should be an escalation from other planets, you know?
Yeah, probably. I still wish that the nightmare dimension, that you could have, was it, gone through the mod that lets you power up your character, and then gone to the Nightmare Dimension where you have, like, these superpowers, essentially?
Yeah, because that power-up mod,
right.
like, you get your levels and whatever in that from, like, the basic Minecraft stuff, like, walking around and doing and taking damage, building and taking down things.
Yes.
You're right, that absolutely would have made much more sense to be able to...
But also,
To
no,
have
like, because that's the first thing that has given us, like, extra, or, like, anything beyond vanilla gameplay use. Anything beyond nothing that isn't from items. When we go to there and we lose all of our items, we're back to day 1. But if we had gotten the leveling up first, then gone back there, we're not at day 1 again, because we have all this stuff. I saw the CPU just hit 96%. The Minecraft is closed, buddy. %. There's Discord taking up 10%. Rune Factory at 9. Nothing else above 4.4. And it's like, okay, so it's like 3, 1, 1, less than 1. Do I just have like 1,000 things at 0.1%? Gosh, am I gonna have to replace my CPU? That is a really annoying piece to replace. But right, stuff, things, and stuff. With things. There's stuff. Yeah, skateboarder superhero. Or just a skateboard superhero.
Right, yeah, skateboard superhero. What were we saying? So, yeah, so you have your motivations, but again, it would be good to, like, to also kind of just figure out your own personal morals. Now, for anything that's created, like any, like, you know, like construct or whatever made by somebody else, that other person's, you know, personal morals tend to be your starting baseline.
Yeah, I figured...
So I guess the starting point is figure out what sort of person built you in the first place.
Comes out okay.
So, someone who definitely likes extreme sports because they are planning on competing in
I hope it comes out okay.
the most extreme of
You're big
sports,
and strong,
essentially.
okay? I hope it comes out
And
okay.
I suppose someone who, say, wanted to be a hero not from any powers that they have, but from just being
You're
like
big
a
and
gadgeteer,
strong, okay?
like making equipment.
You're big and strong, okay?
They might have made other equipment as well, like smoke bombs, stun guns, whatever. So the sort of person potentially who is smart enough
I hope it comes out okay.
and who would want to, yeah. In essence, specifically, someone wanted to take part in extreme sports and wanted to win. And is smart enough to do all that, but not smart enough to realize that even though their skateboard can resist, you know, falling from 100 feet up or so, that they're
You're big and
that
strong,
they
okay?
cannot.
Now, here's the important question,
Nice.
I think, with that. Someone, like, creating, you know, like, a sentient robot skateboard for the purposes, like, of, like, competing in, like, extreme sports and all that stuff. Would that be considered cheating?
Strong, okay?
See, that is something that I've been wondering about. So, if you have a world that has, like, so So if there was, you know, like a superhero comic
I
book,
hope it
whatever,
comes out okay.
and there was like
hope it
one
comes out
set
okay.
at, you know, extreme
Watering time,
sporting
watering
event.
Watering time.
So would it be cheating for people to use superpowers in such an event? I think if you go up like at a high enough level, it wouldn't be, because it's just the case of, you
Watering
know,
time.
do what you can to win, as long as, and like, I mean, heck, for,
I hope it comes out okay.
so yeah, do whatever you can to win, basically. So someone using, say, superpowers, maybe someone can fly and they use the power of flight to boost their stunts
I
and
hope
stuff.
it comes. I hope it comes
Oh,
out
well,
okay.
they're just stunting better.
Real big and
Someone
strong, okay?
builds a skateboard
I hope
that can
I
fly.
hope it comes out
It's like,
okay.
okay, well, daring, aren't they?
Well, I'll just say this. Say this based on, you know, what you've already told me. So the original creator probably, you know, was more
I
concerned
hope it
with
comes out okay.
like performing well
Watering time.
and, you know,
I hope
winning
it comes
and
out
showing
okay.
off than they were about, say, personal safety.
Yes.
Obviously,
Right.
you were designed so that basically you can. It's nigh impossible for you to be damaged. But considering that how your creator, you know, died, I would imagine that safety of others is probably something of a little
Big and
more
strong,
concern
okay?
to you. You would not want to be personally responsible for someone else getting injured.
Yeah. Hence, trying
Would
to
you say
make a
that's
name.
accurate?
Yeah. Hence, them trying to make a name for
Watering
itself
time.
as just being like just a skateboard
I hope it
instead
comes
of
out okay.
trying to find someone,
Watering time.
you know, to ride the skateboard. Instead of like, okay, who do I want to bring on next to be the unwitting, you know, recipient of possible death on the next acid
I hope
drop?
it comes out okay.
It's, hey,
I hope it comes out okay.
why can't I go? I have thoughts. I can think.
Real big and strong,
All right.
okay?
So and I guess that this comes down to sort of the, you know what? I guess similar to the sort of a trolley problem situation. What is more important to you? Saving someone who was not going to be able to save themselves,
Real
or
big and
stopping the
strong,
villain?
Okay?
Ooh. I mean, if the villain is, you know, going to say kill an innocent civilian, but if they're going to, but if say stopping to,
Watering
you know,
time.
letting them go to save the
Watering
civilian
time.
means that they'll just go and kill more,
Big and strong, okay?
then it's more important to stop the villain from killing more civilians. The needs of the many and all that.
But is that the moral stance that the skateboard takes?
I hope it comes out okay.
And the reason that I ask that is because, again, you were very close, like physically, to your creator when they died. They were literally riding you, and, you know, died riding you.
Real big and
Yeah.
strong,
I like
okay?
to think that
So that
after the
makes-
rider died,
Big and
the
strong,
skateboard
okay?
like did like the rest of the set before they realized that the rider was dead. Like they did like the rest of like that like set of tricks, whatever. And then it's like, oh, why are people not
Watering
applauding?
time.
Like looks around, everyone seems so shocked.
I
Then
hope
they
it comes
realize
out
the
okay.
dead body.
Nice.
And the thing is, now that you're describing that, that also kind of, you know, is an interesting thought then, because that not only does this mean that the writer is dead, but also from the perspective of everyone else who probably
Strong.
realized the moment that the writer died,
Watering time.
and the fact that you finished the set
Yes.
suggests that the writer was basically irrelevant in the first place, because you were the one doing the tricks.
Yes.
Which would, on top of the whole the rider died situation, also kind of bring into question. And this is why, like, I was asking about would it consider cheating? Because again, it's at the point of who is actually the athlete here.
Watering time.
And then
Real big and strong,
from a
okay?
less meta perspective, there's the whole thing of like, while trying to make the character and make powers and stuff, especially the powers, what sort of stuff would such a person put into their
Watering
skateboard?
time.
What is reasonable
big
and
and
what
strong,
is not
okay?
reasonable? Like, I have, like, armor. Armor level 9, because the skateboard is made of steel, and steel has an armor of 9.
Okay.
Out of all the metals to
Watering
make a
time.
skateboard with, I mean, sure, you'd want some, like, fantasy, you know,
I hope it comes out
adamantine
okay.
stuff, but that's not feasible at this power level.
Okay,
So steel.
here's an... You know what? Let's look at your expertise as, you know, motivation on some of this stuff. How much of your expertise skills were because of
Hope it
stuff
comes
that
out
your
okay.
writer was intending for you to be purposed for?
Grow big and strong,
Like-
okay?
Say, the initial into modeling, was it like you and the writer, like,
So,
in like a magazine ad,
Alright.
or was that not until after you went solo?
no, I see that the rider wasn't, like, already popular when, like, before making the skateboard. The rider wanted to be popular, and, like, you
I
know,
hope it comes
made
out
the
okay.
skateboard over
I hope it
probably a
comes-
period
hope
of
it comes
months
out
or
okay.
whatever.
I hope it comes out okay.
All the while, you know, talking to themselves or talking to the skateboard about what it's like to be a star, and thus, like, the skateboard's, like, first memories are of being told about,
Watering
like, stardom and stuff.
Grow big and-
Also,
grow big
that's
and
why
strong,
like, the
okay?
skateboard
I
communicates
hope
via
it comes out
radio,
okay. Watering time.
so the
Watering
rider and the
time.
skateboard would, like, talk to each other, like, through radio.
Yep.
I'm just picturing, like, the rider just using the skateboard, like, as a radio, like, blasting out the tunes while shredding.
I hope it comes out okay.
But I
hope it
mean,
comes out
here's
okay.
my thought. So if the
Grow
thought
big
is
and
that the
strong,
writer
okay?
wasn't already specifically well-known, popular, etc., before building you, was the hacking expertise something
it
that
comes out
they
okay.
built into you, or is that something that you developed after the fact?
I think that's just something that the skateboard developed on its own. Because, like, the skateboard would know about other machines and computers and stuff, and then just, like, ooh, what can I do with this? And, like, you know,
Grow big and strong, okay?
spend some
Grow big
downtime,
and strong,
potentially,
okay?
like, while being charged, like,
Watering time.
plugged into a computer charging. It's like, ooh, I
big
can
and
do
strong,
stuff on this
okay?
computer. Well, I can't, you know, do my thing now because I'm being, you know, repaired or recharged, whatever.
Grow big and strong, okay?
Okay, okay.
And that's why I also gave it, like, regeneration.
Watering time.
I think I
watering
gave it, like,
time.
1 or 2 regeneration. Just for, like, the, oh, if the skateboard does get damaged, would the rider want to repair the skateboard, like, themselves? Or, you know, I don't know if this was, like, a real
big and-
world
grow
thing or,
big
like,
and
what it
strong,
exactly
okay?
applied to, but I remember seeing a thing that there's, like, say,
Watering time.
imagine a bunch of, like, crooked line segments, like, next to each other. Like, you know, some of the, like, mostly up and down, but, like, you know, a bit to the left or a bit to the right, you know, not parallel and not, like, connected. Right? Say a bunch of toothpicks kind of in a line, but kind of... So, something I read was, like, there's a thing that's essentially like that, but then if you run electricity through it, it will, like, the electricity will go in and hit one end of each line segment, go through it, and basically, like, magnetize itself, and find the next one, and all of them will form a line, like a straight line across. By running, like, electricity through it. So I thought that something like that could be really interesting for the skateboard. You run electricity into it, and all of, like, the dents and stuff that it has taken line themselves out on, like, a microscopic level. And that's how its regeneration works, specifically with the electricity.
Grow big and strong, okay?
So yeah, that's what I was picturing with that, and
Grow big
But I
and
don't
strong,
know-
okay?
what?
So the hacking, so basically the
comes out
hacking and,
okay.
and that
Hacking
stuff
is
is
incidental.
probably
It
more
comes out
just
okay.
for, this is just something that, skill set that he's, you know, or interest that the skateboard has developed mostly out of boredom.
Yes.
Boredom and curiosity while in, like, during downtime.
You're big and
So,
strong,
yes.
okay, so that
Um,
probably has less to do with their moral code.
Pottery
Okay.
time.
Yeah. But also the hacking fits into like the social media stuff because one of the things of stardom of fame that the skateboard was told over those first few months